90% of people don't have social intelligence, so keep an eye out because you may have made one of the following 8 mistakes, especially the last one. And by the way, when I talk about social intelligence, I mean the ability to communicate, understand, and relate to other people from an assertive and empathetic stance. And now we start with the 10 mistakes. The first of all is not having reciprocity, especially when it comes to having conversations. Has it ever happened to you that you are explaining something super important to you to a person, and the feeling you get from them is not that they are listening to you, but that they are thinking about the next thing they are going to say when you shut up? Or when you explain something good that happened to you and that person interrupts you to explain what happened to them. Or when you comment on that new thing you bought, but that person interrupts you again to comment that what he bought is better or cheaper. And by this I don't mean normal interruptions that can happen in a totally normal conversation, but I'm referring to those types of people who always try to steer the conversation towards them. This is horrible. It's one of the worst feelings you can have. That's what you have to do if you don't want to be charismatic. Look, I'm going to explain something to you. One of the biggest traits of charismatic people is that usually the people around them feel heard and appreciated. So, please don't make that mistake. All those people who only know how to talk about themselves make the other person feel that they are not valued, and they are also under-communicating low self-esteem because you are continually looking for approval from others. The second mistake is trying to convince people by asking instead of offering. Let me give you an example to help you understand this better. Imagine you are a photographer, and one day you meet the owner of your favorite photography magazine, the one you have always dreamed of working with. Most people would say something like, "I've always been a big fan of your magazine. I'd love to work for you. I want to show you all my photos." Instead, I would explain what I can offer you and how I can improve your business. For example, I would say something like, "I practice a creative photo style that is having a lot of success on Instagram, and while it has incredible numbers in your magazine, I think I could really improve the social media aspect and all the digital content. If you might be interested in improving your networking influence, I'm sending you my portfolio with the photos." And off you go. You don't pursue it, you leave a bait of how they can improve, and you send them your content. From minute one, you're offering something that looks much more positive than if you come in asking for something. Spread it around and demonstrate your value. Mistake number 3. Correcting people on everything. It's okay to correct once in a while and make it so that the person who made a mistake can learn something that can bring them value. It's also okay to correct if you can save someone a problem or if what they are saying directly affects you. More importantly, it can hurt you. But in most cases, if you can't really contribute something of value and it's not a crucial issue, it's better not to correct. And even less if it is in a group conversation. I'll explain why. In most cases, people don't care how much you know and how smart you are. What they want is to feel smart themselves. And if you correct all the time, people will end up hating you. Mistake number 4. Downplaying other people's problems. If a person decides to open up and tell you about a problem they are suffering from, don't do what most people do. Many people, in an attempt to cheer you up, will say, "Well, it's not that serious, it's okay. That's nothing. Don't worry, it's not important." Or worst of all, going back to mistake number 1, they start explaining their own problems, communicating that their problems are more complicated than yours. If you downplay what that person has told you, they are not going to feel any better. Instead, tell him that you are sorry that he is going through a bad time. Listen to everything he has to say, and tell him that if he needs your support, your help, he should ask for it. Undoubtedly, in this way, the person feels heard, feels empathy that you understand his problem, and on top of that, you are showing your support, telling him that you can help him. Mistake number 5, also very common among people, is to speak ill of people who are not present at that moment. If you do that, your close group, your group of friends, will think that when they are absent, you will also speak badly of them. They will not trust you. Mistake number 6 is chasing instead of attracting. You can't always go after people if you are always the one initiating conversations. For example, if you send too many text messages, and worst of all, if they don't respond to you, you keep sending more texts asking why they don't respond to you. You do this because you are in a situation of needing attention. Aside from burdening the other person, what you are communicating is that you have low value, that you have nothing to do, that you have no more friends. Or if you will be a person in which you have a romantic interest with her, then you are also showing her that you have no other options, and that she is your only possibility. What you need to do is bring value to the conversation and then limit your availability, i.e., don't be the one who always initiates conversations. If they don't answer you, you also stop answering. And if they come after you, you wait a while. Don't always be available for plans. Make plans with other people so they see you have more options. If you bring value but then you are a bit distant, they will end up missing your presence. If you are always there for them when they call you. If you are always there initiating conversations, sending more messages, they take it for granted that they will always have you and treat you badly because they know that whatever they do, there will be no consequences, that you will always be like a lapdog. The next mistake is complaining about unimportant things. The feeling and perception that people who complain about silly things show that they have no problem-solving skills and are not good at working under pressure, taking risks, facing challenges, and in short, they are weak and soft. Think about it for a moment. Would you trust your life to a person who complains about the slightest problem? I'm telling you no. The last and most important mistake is to ask for things in an imperative way. There are many people who have the erroneous idea that power is obtained by giving orders. That is dictatorial power that damages the ego of others. People do not like to receive orders or like to be told what to do, especially in a group situation, in front of other people. Imagine that we are in a group meeting and I start giving you orders and telling you what to do, and for example, instead of telling you, you could do such and such, I tell you do this in front of the whole group. Don't you feel that I am trying to dominate you? Don't you feel submissive? Don't you feel humiliated in front of the whole group? This will only make that person hate you, and you will only be able to exert power over them if you have a very high position of power, and they feel obligated to comply with what you have asked them to do. But that, my friend, is not effective. It is in your interest that the person wants to do what you have asked him to do efficiently and not sabotage you. And I want to explain something to you right now about this mistake. Social dominance is not demonstrated through language, not through physical contact, eye contact, or other strategies, but by giving direct orders in an empathetic way. Instead of saying, do this, you can say, it would be great if you throw this away, or it would be great for me if you did this. That you let them sell you that talking this way makes you weak. Dominance is sub-communicating, not communicating. Don't create unnecessary enemies. Create allies who want to make you better and grow with you. Subscribe, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.